Hi, this is Nick Steele, and you can find additional free information on my website, nickvopsteele.com. That's nickvopsteele.com. nickvopsteele.com. And I really trust that you're having a great day out there, because I'm having an amazing day where I am. So what I'm going over right now is the audio series called Breaking Boundaries. I had a small delay for it, but right now it is here available to you, and it is coming soon. Right now the date is going to be June 7th, 2013 is when it will come out. So if you're hearing this after that date, then it's already here. But it's June 7th, 2013. So, and the purpose of breaking boundaries is to break past the boundaries that we have placed on ourselves. Because really, if you think about it, there are no actual boundaries in the form of thought, in the form of spirituality, but we place boundaries on ourselves, except for the way the universe operates. The only real boundary is the way that the universe operates. And really that actually helps us, because think about it. If we think a thought, it materializes in reality. But the way the universe operates is it takes time or a certain amount of effort before it materializes. So if you thought about a hippopotamus, you don't want a hippopotamus just appearing before you. That's why the universe operates in such a way where it delays certain things. But if you think about something, it will happen eventually if you keep your mind focused on it. And once that thought is in the air, it circulates and is shared between other people. So the purpose of this is to break past the boundaries that we have placed on ourselves, and that we let other systems or traditions make us think are there. There are no boundaries, not even the one called time, because that really doesn't exist, other than in the form that something doesn't instantly appear now, but there only exists now. There is no future. There is no past. Because if there is, we will be able to interact with those simultaneously. And if we interacted with the future, the future will become now, if you think of it like that. If we interacted with the past will become now, because that's the only way that we can interact with it, unless there is a way that we can break past that. So the first topic, there are 10 topics in this. The first topic is called building a foundation. And just like building a house or a building, a skyrise, you cannot accurately build a great foundation unless you have support beams. And in the form of a skyrise, a skyscraper, you need to have a great zoning area, because you don't want that building to collapse. You don't want your house to collapse without the support beams and the zoning area. So you need to make sure that everything is accurately there. So in this one, we go through a host of topics that talk about breaking the old chains that pull you down. Like you can have an addiction to cigarettes, to anything that is actually dragging you back. You know it's an addiction when you cannot focus. Like an addiction could be your cell phone rings and then you have to go answer it. A text message comes in and you're in the middle of something that you feel like is great in your passion, but it's so important and urgent at the time, you think that you have to just respond to it. You break your concentration. And studies say that it takes 15 minutes to get that same concentration back to where you were. So 15 minutes of your time is gone. Let's say that it keeps coming in. And then eventually, if you do it so much, your concentration, you get trained and conditioned in such a way that your concentration you can't focus past a certain amount of time. And then you have to really dig down and really cut things out. So that's what we talk about. We replace those old habits with something new. We replace them with focus and energy and everything. So, and then moving on to the next topic, which is self-talk. Positive self-talk causes us to do great things. Anyone that has done anything great, past, present, or future, which is only the present, but if we're talking about a reference, is past, and things to come, the future, they've done so by speaking positively to him or herself. Really, it's not things don't get done with just positive self-talk unless there's a foundation there. If you go up to a person that does not believe, and we establish a belief with a great foundation, but if you don't believe, or you go up to that person and say, you know what? Just think positively about it. Have faith that you will be healed. Have faith that you will get that job or that you will do well here or there. And the person doesn't believe, they can convince themselves, and they use that willpower, which is very weak when it comes to a lot of pressure on us, because there's so much things that we have stressors today that willpower could be sapped away by the time we get to what we're trying to use our willpower on. So it goes beyond just positive self-talk. So I really urge you to listen to these in the order that they're presented. But positive self-talk really causes you and gives you that motivation. Positive self-talk is phenomenal. Then the next topic number 3, is open the mind. Say yes and just watch how new opportunities are open unto you who follow the principle. Just think about it. If you start saying yes to things as opposed to no mentally, you will be open to new opportunities. Many times we often say yes mentally to negative things, whether that's in a song, in a movie, because look, they put us in an emotional state. And when you're in an emotional state, you make an emotional decision. That's where most of our decisions come from. We make those type of decisions. So let's say we're listening to a song, something that you would normally say is wacko or crazy, and you may even mention it while the song is playing and say, wow, that's crazy. Shake your head, laugh about it, but then it's getting drilled into your brain once you hear the song so many times, especially if something is on the radio that you don't like, and then you find out that you like it. It's something about the music. You like the beat or you like the flow of it, and then since you like the one thing, your mind cannot differentiate about the one thing that you don't like, so you start to take all of it in. And before you know it, it infects your personality just in the slightest of ways. I'm not saying that you'll be completely a certain way by what you listen to, but it will affect you if you listen to something long enough. There are so many people that will want to doubt that, but even right now, just don't argue with what I'm saying. Just take it in, and after you listen to this, when you turn it off, you go back and you think, and then you try to question what it is, or you debate it. Because if you debate it now, that's once again having your mind saying no. You're not opening your mind to any type of other alternative, and you'll stay exactly where you are. So number 4 is called decision making. So you want to make real decisions and stick to them, no matter if you are faced with hardship or faced with easy times, easygoing situations. Now, even though we make emotional decisions, we need logic to make decisions in the long run, in the short run many times. If you really want to make a decision, let's say that you are going to drive to this amusement park for your kids. Unless you get, and there's so many things that are trying to get in your way before you get to that amusement park. It's about 15 miles away. There's a traffic jam here. And it's just as soon as you get out of your house, it's a traffic jam. Isn't it crazy how when you make a decision to improve your life, it seems like just so many obstacles are just getting in your way? Well, that's an example. You say, wow, I'm going to take my children out to the amusement park, or I'm going to the amusement park. Blam, just less than a mile from your house and 14 miles to go, it's a traffic jam. So then you take something that should have taken you about 5 minutes, takes you about 20 minutes. It's hot outside. It's about 89 degrees. So that's another obstacle right there. The heat, your air conditioner is not working. People are honking their horns. And then you finally get 2 miles away. Or 2 miles farther. Then the other obstacle is there's a car accident on an alternate route that you want to take. And then there's people that are calling you and say, hey, come back. And you've already designated a time that you're having with your kids. You said, this time I'm having with my kids. If you stay focused, unless something very, very urgent or some logical thing says do not go to the amusement park because it blew up, it fell apart, they're not accepting anybody in anymore today, or it closed down, something that is legitimate and logical, then you stick to that. You stick to it, because just because an obstacle comes in your way or seems like something is going to distract you, do not focus on it. Just focus on where you're going. If you focus on how you're going to get to the amusement park, it makes that whole thing less stressful. It may still be stressful, but it will be less stressful, and you can go straight toward it. So number 5, you set expectations. And I will urge you to set your expectations high. And then you keep going after them until you achieve them. Then once you achieve those, you set new expectations. So just like the amusement park, your expectation is that you will arrive at the amusement park no matter what. The only way that you will detour from that is if one of the things I said before, it closes down. Then there will be no reason for you to go to the amusement park. Why would you go there? It's a waste of your energy when you can make an alternate amusement park. If your expectation is that you will reach an amusement park, if it's not that one because of something happened, it's going to be another one, then you will set your expectation after that. So set your expectations high. I've noticed that companies that have survived so far have actually increased paying their clients or their workers even more, their employees. I've even noticed that when Henry Ford was there, he paid his employees a higher amount than other companies did, and he did very well. And it's just companies that follow under the same footsteps in this economy that we have now. It's neither a good nor a bad economy. It's just an economy. It's just a reflection of all of the people's thoughts, opinions, and what they put into it. So their emotions. That's all it is. If you really think about it, it's just whatever happens on this planet. It's just a reflection of many people's opinions and thoughts and emotions on one specific area. So your expectation should be set toward excellence in everything that you do. And we're going to talk about some more specific details in that section. Then number 6, create success. You want to create success by making the decision, remember decision making, to be diligent and thoughtful in what you do. You create real success by putting your best effort into your product or service. So you want to just focus on putting your best effort, the best thing coming. Because many people come from the way of, hey, this is going to make me this amount of money. And then they go after something. Now it works for some people. And it works for, I wouldn't argue against saying, hey, it doesn't work at all. I don't want to spread something that I'm not 100% sure, because I feel like certain things work for certain people. But I feel like what works for more people is that you put your best foot forward. And after that, let's say you make a product and say, I'm going to give this product, I'm going to try to put so much in this that if I help this one person, it's like I'm helping 100. And then I'll put a price tag on it because I feel like that's what I deserve. Then that's what the way you come from, as opposed to, I need $100 from this person. Let's see how much information I can put in here. It's just a different mindset. I feel like it's less stressful. And I've spoke this to many people around me, and it seems to me that it works with easing the stress on them too. So in this one, we're talking about creating your success. Number 7, problem solving. Finding your niche is what that really is. And that simply means just find the people in your field of endeavor who have a problem to which you have the solution already. You have a solution to one of our problems. I have a solution to one of your problems or somebody else's problems. I'm not worried about the people that don't need my help. I'm focusing on the people that want my help, that are already out there seeking my help. Because I've noticed once I try to go, and it's basically like selling somebody, I go out there and I'm trying to promote. It's so much stress associated with that. And that also comes back to the previous section, which is talking about creating success. First, I started out with, and this is how many people go. You go out there and you try to sell something. Then you come back, then you find out that you get some people, but then other people don't. Then you go back with a mixed result of trying to sell and then giving more effort, and it gets you more. But then if you start to go with, hey, I'm doing this from the heart, that gets you a greater result, and it actually brings more people toward you. If you go from the heart, you won't even remember the people that don't accept it. It's just, it's just another day. Hey, some people will and some people won't. I know many people will, and I know somebody out there. There are so many people out there that need this information or that need this product, this service that I provide, and I already have it. It just doesn't make sense that I should focus my energy on those people that requires so much work and warming up to get them to buy in. So that's what I talk about in that area for you. And in section 8, I talk about energy. Energy is like harnessing the powers that give us ambition. Our mind embodies life, the energy. So you want to spark up energy on the inside of you, whether you get that from an external source, like what you're hearing right now, or from an internal source, which is where I said the positive self-talk. So it's going to talk about the external, which is, let's say that your flame goes out. I remember I was hearing Zig Ziglar. He was talking about if a flame goes out, that you put the log, a piece of wood, and you rub it together. It creates an air vortex. And once the air is in there, it lets a little oxygen in, and then blam, you light a flame. That's exactly what this is. This type of thing is an external flame or an external lighter that is right there just putting the wood over you, and bloom. This is what my mission is, to spark a flame inside of you so that you can make, create, develop, and just share as much passion and energy to the world as possible. So you can accomplish what you were put on this planet to do, to put in this universe to do. Whether that's to be the first person on Mars, the first person to discover what's at the bottom of the ocean, to build a submarine that can take that pressure, or the first person, or just a person that's out there. You don't have to invent something new or do some new idea, that you just becoming the best at what you are meant to be. So energy, that really talks about some very, very great topics there. Even waking up in the day and just starting it in a positive way. And then in section 9, life is a mental sport. Now, I know I say life is a lot like cross country, even though actually it's cross country is a lot like life. But I like that the way I say it better. Life is a lot like cross country, because the person who succeeds is the person who puts in the work and consistently believes he can. The successful person puts in the work behind the scenes, not just in front of everyone else. The successful person puts in the work behind the scenes, because a lot of people can make a big deal in front. I announced at track meets, and I actually have taken, because I didn't like how certain things were announced on certain broadcasts, and I said, you know what? I muted them and I practiced, and I said, I just want to do this for fun. And I did it for fun. I was in my room, I took the mic, and I said, so-and-so is in the lead, and this person is following, and this person is here, and I did it. And then one day I volunteered to announce at a track meet, and lo and behold, I started to announce, and they loved it. So many people came up to me, and they continue to come up to me now, and I just get my name across that, wow, this guy has a great voice. So I put in the work behind the scenes is what I'm saying. I put in that work behind the scenes, and I go around and I act out different roles in movies, and that helps me write my screenplays. It's just so many things that I do behind the scenes that when I become in front of other people in my writing, it just seems like, wow, this guy just knows. He's just natural at it. When it's not necessarily natural, it is, because that's my passion. It doesn't feel like I'm doing work, but it's not that I just came out of the womb knowing how to do all of this stuff. It's just that I put in the consistent effort, the practice, and I consistently believe I can do this. I know I can do it, and you can too. And that's what we talk about in the Life is a Mental Sport section. I feel like that will be a great and fun listen to. And that's section 9. Then the final section, section 10, I entitled From Change to Progress to Growth. And progress and growth are pretty similar, but change is inevitable. But progress, and especially growth, require effort. Because if we're not growing, we're dying. And we can't be two things at once. We can't be left and right at the same time. So make the very conscious effort to grow in everything that you do. Now, change, well, eventually you'll grow taller from when you're a newborn. Eventually, you'll grow old. Eventually, you'll grow up. That's what change is. Eventually, things wear out. That's what change is. But progress means I'm becoming better. Growth means It's progress, but at an exponential level. That's what I define growth. Progress happening at an exponential level. Progress is the beginning stages of what growth is. We are enthralled. We love to have progress. If we have change, then we're very stressed out. If we have stagnation, that's equivalent to going backwards. Stagnation is equivalent to death because we're just at a okay level. But when we go to progress, man, we are happy. Are we elated? And then when we go to growth, that's exponential levels. Let's take a look at Warren Buffett. And if you don't know him, he was the world's richest man for quite some time. He's arguably one of the most successful investors of all time. So his progress was basically him taking companies and buying them, and he's gained millions and millions. And then when he began to get in the growth level, which is, I believe, offhand, don't quote me on this, somewhere in the 80s, that's when he started to become a public phenom and a voice. He started to be the billionaire, and he started to really just track and rake in money. And he says he doesn't do it for the money. He does it because he just is a collector of things. And that's what he did. So when you go from progress, it's like you're an athlete learning and you're getting better and better. But when you take that leap to growth, that means you've basically made one huge leap almost overnight, and you're staying there and you're just continuing to go on that momentum. It's like that athlete, let's say a track or cross country athlete. And he's gotten that first, he's progressing. He's getting better and better and faster at each race. And then he goes to that one meet where he wins and he tastes that win. He takes that momentum, and it's very hard to beat him now. He's got that confidence. So now if you have to beat him, it's not like, wow, he just doesn't have it at the end. It's you have to give everything you have just to beat this guy now. It has to be that his legs just are not as fast as yours at the end, or that he's just not as talented as you are, or doesn't have that ability that you have at the end. Not talent, let me rephrase that, but he doesn't have that same training that you have on the inside at that moment when you two meet. That's what I talk about with growth. So just to go over again, this is breaking boundaries. The purpose is to break past the boundaries that we've placed upon ourselves and to be dragged by new habits, because the old habits are boundaries. New habits, positive habits, are ones that actually break the boundaries there. So we have 10 topics, from building a foundation, self-talk, open the mind, decision-making, set expectations, create success, problem solving, energy. Life is a mental sport, and from change to progress to growth. And there it is. Like I said, it is coming out June 7th, 2013. If you're hearing it after, this is just the introductory to that. So before, it's coming out that date, but if it's after that date, after this date, then this is just the introductory to that. And this is Nick VOP Steele, or actually Nick Steele, on nickvopsteele.com. That is NICKVOPSTEELE. And you can find more information like this, many in the free format, in audio and in the written word, as well as other t-shirts and just other products. Just check out the website and you can see that all on nickvopsteele.com. That's NICKVOPSTEELE.com. And that's all I have today. See you at the top.